Alright, this should be in 4K. I'm using the big camera on my iPhone X, and I put up a beard grooming video last week, and it had 35 views, so I'm quite pleased with that. And I thought I'd do what's sort of made me more interested in my beard and bearding. So I've done a few changes this week, and I thought I'd talk about that because that's something that people growing their goatee and what I've made mistakes in the past. So I trimmed it yesterday, and the theory I'm working on is that you keep trimming it across here, so you have a little flat there, and that way you get more growth down here and you get a squarer beard. I have had just kept it growing down here, and it got right down here. It looked pathetic because it wasn't full enough. So I thought, well, fuck it, I'm just gonna have a short but full beard, and I think it looks cooler with that flat edge. It's kind of like a square jaw. What else was I watching this week? I watched some beard brand videos, and some of those dudes are like models and things, and I like the dude who actually started Beard Brand. I believe he's moved on now, but his theory on moustaches is that you let it grow out, and he obviously lets it grow out, and then he trains it out, and he does sort of like a handlebar. I'm not interested in having a handlebar or anything like that. I think if you're going to have a handlebar moustache, then you might as well wear a bow tie. I'm not the least bit interested in having a handlebar moustache. One of the other dudes there he had a nice big bushy beard, but he had a pretty light moustache, and he had a great big beard, and he was talking about trimming it and stuff, but his moustache was weak. And he trimmed his moustache along the top of his upper lip, which is quite common. But when he did it close up, I could see that he didn't have the strength in his moustache to grow it straight and long. So, and his excuse for that was that he didn't like to taste beard in his food. He said that numerous times, and I thought, well, that's bullshit, because I never have that problem. I'm not eating my beard. I can bite it and trim it if I want to with my teeth, but I don't. What else was there? A few other things happened this week. I might have trimmed it a bit too hard on this side, and now it's like weak on this side, and that's pissed me off. I've got a bent, my face is slightly bent, and it's like I have a kink in my face. I don't know, like a lean in my mouth. But having a moustache and a beard, you can sort of correct that. The last one too, I did that video, and it took like 20 minutes to shave my head. And when I watched the video back, I realised that's nonsense, man. It shouldn't take 20 minutes. I changed these blades. Like I said, I only change them once every 6 weeks, so I probably haven't changed them for a long time. And I should have changed them before making the video, but anyway, I'll do it again. This time I'll show you what it does with like fresh blades. So these are 2 days old. The difference is amazing, actually, when you've got sharp blades. You really only have to go over everything once. So I saw that I had when I was making the video, I was talking too quietly, so you couldn't hear over the razor, so I'm talking a bit louder now, but I sort of made it seem like there was some ritual to it, and you're supposed to start with this part and do something like that. Well, that's nonsense, you're just like shaving your head, who cares how you go about it, you just do it. And it's a work day tomorrow, so I'm not going to try and get it like baby soft. Just try and get rid of the stubble, because it's white, the white stubble I do, in my opinion. I had a story this week about TikTok. I had some excitement on TikTok. I only just discovered TikTok, and I thought it was quite funny because I've been checking out all the hot women, all the hot girls, and anyway, I saw this one Asian chick, and she's like quite attractive. Anyway, her TikTok was about her going to study physics in order to find a husband. And I thought, well, that's funny, because she was saying it's only a joke. She was implying it was just a joke, and she was making a video about that joke. And that's fair enough. And I made a comment, not knowing, that the world is full of like the sisterhood. It's like you can't say anything against women these days. And my comment was, I know you're only joking, but some girls actually do this. Anyway, she latched onto my comment. Out of all the thousands of comments, she latched onto my comment and decided to make a reply video. And to be honest, she made a fool out of my comment. She made a fool out of me, and then I started to get all these girls attacking me, calling me a boomer. Obviously I'm an older white male, but and I could really feel the hate, and I actually got quite anxious about it, almost to the point where I was thinking, shit, I might just delete my TikTok account, because my TikTok account is only like 2 or 3 weeks old, and I've never really had much luck with social media or anything. And TikTok I thought was quite cool. I just get pictures of cars and motorbikes I like, and I figured out how to make a sort of join them together to make a slideshow of the cars and things that I like. And I put a few of those up, and they get a few looks. And I've got one of my mate's drift car, and I've got one of my mate's Harley, and it's had like 300 views. And I did a photo collage of myself going from clean shaven to having this beard, and also over the same length of time I've lost 13 kilos using keto as my diet. So I've been evolving somewhat in the last 6 months. We've all been evolving, let's face it, with coronavirus. Some of them evolved too much, I guess, but like some of them do. And I get all this hate, and it sort of upset me a little bit. It sort of set me on the back foot. But then after a couple of days, I realised, it was blowing over, and she out of that one comment, currently she's had over 100,000 views of her reply video, almost as many views as the highest one on her channel. So she did pretty well out of that. And to say like, there's no woman have ever gone to university for the purpose of meeting a man, because that's what they do. You never convince me otherwise. Sure, there's plenty of women who are clever, but the reason they go there isn't because they're not there to meet men, but it's just they want to meet men that can earn the sort of money they would expect to be able to earn. So they're not going to start looking in places where, I don't know, contractors or, lower paid dudes work. Yeah, so that's pretty good. I can't think of anything else. Oh, there was one dude asked a question on my video. He said, what's it like walking around with a goatee like this? And it's an interesting thing. Because I used to live in Auckland, which is New Zealand's biggest city. When I first grew my goatee, I was about 39, 40, and it's a kind of long story to it, because like I'm one of these guys that thought, I'll never have a beard. I'll never be able to grow a decent beard. And you know, I didn't start shaving till I was, you know, probably 17. I mean, I just had little feathers here, you know, just like little feathers, and I wouldn't dare try and have a moustache at that age. But so I just didn't, and then plus my style went through my 20s and 30s. You know, beard probably wouldn't have suited me, although it would have been dark. And when I did eventually grow it, it was much darker than this. It was like nearly all, not black, but dark brown with a few streaks of grey in it, and it looked good. But in Auckland, in a city, and I had a haircut at that stage, but it was close cropped, and you know, I would never have thought it for myself, but I must have looked intimidating. And I remember going through a bar, and people were actually just getting out of my way. So that's one thing. But these days I live in the country. I live in a small town in the North Island, in Taupo, and I find people are much more accepting of it, because you know, this is a very generic look for guys about my age. In fact, you know, in New Zealand, probably about a third of the guys in their 50s wear a bald head and some sort of facial hair, you know, more than would wear a bald head and no facial hair, you know. I mean, if you're going to have a bald head, you might as well have some facial hair going on. And so most guys have got something like this going on. And so I find people are much more accepting of it. In fact, you know, it doesn't mean anything. But actually, for me, walking through an environment with this beard means that they cannot see what my mouth is doing, and therefore it gives you a bit of a poker face, and they don't really know what you're thinking. I think that's a pretty cool feature of a beard and a moustache, is that you can actually hide what your mouth is doing. So, you know, I could have some fun with it if I wasn't married, but unfortunately I am, and that's the way it goes. That's another story. So yeah, that's my little catch up for this week. Catch you later.